Hello, welcome to the day 3 discussion of our 30 days revision plan. Today's questions were based on concepts in oceanography and there were 2 current affairs questions as well. So the basic questions were asked testing your conceptual clarity in oceanography. We will discuss questions one by one. So the first question, consider the following statements. Rip currents are narrow channels of the moving water observed in water bodies. Ebb tides are seaward flow in water bodies during a tidal phase of lowering water level. The rip currents are formed due to the wave action that are commonly observed in beaches. When the waves move into the shore, they try to go back after the waves reach the beaches. Okay. So once they go back, they form a narrow and deep water flow. This can have negative consequences as well, because if rip currents are not detected, people can get drowned as well. That is the first statement, that is correct. Second statement, ebb tides. Ebb tides are actually observed when the tidal flows are in a receding stage. So the water flow takes place from the beach towards the interior of the water body. So it is actually the gradual decline of water flow, and the flow of water body will take place towards the seaward direction. Both statements are correct. First statement, both 1 and 2. Second question, in comparison to Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean has higher average ocean depth and higher ocean basin area, passive continental boundary margins, greater number of trenches and occurrence of tsunamis. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. We know that Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. So the first statement is correct. Second statement, passive continental boundary margins. We know that Pacific Ocean is a very active zone in terms of plate tectonics. So a large number of volcanoes and earthquake zones are located here. So Pacific Ocean is not a passive continental ocean margin. So second statement is incorrect. By using that itself, you can eliminate 3 options and you can reach option C, 1 and 3 only. Third statement is also correct. Greater number of trenches and occurrence of tsunamis. Pacific Ocean will have a lot of trenches, whereas Atlantic Ocean will have ridges. That is correct. Second question, option C, 1 and 3 only. Third question, consider the following statements. The deepest part of the seafloor is usually identified as the youngest oceanic crust. The jigsaw fit of the continents provided the best evidence for seafloor spreading in 1960s. Idea that oceanic crust was younger in comparison to continental crust emerged once the idea of seafloor spreading and plate tectonics emerged. Youngest and younger oceanic crusts are often found in the mid-oceanic ridges. The mid-oceanic ridges are the source of origin of new oceanic crust. So that is actually not the deepest part of any sea body. So first statement is incorrect. Also the second statement, the jigsaw fit of the continents provided the best evidence for seafloor spreading. The jigsaw fit of the continents provided the best evidence for continental drift. In case of seafloor spreading, the best evidence was actually the ridge formation and the subsequent magnetic alignment of the newly formed oceanic crust. If you observe at an equidistant from the ridge, there will be same magnetic alignment, and once that equidistant is over and corresponding to the changes in magnetic field, there is a change in magnetic orientation as well. So this actually provided the best supporting evidence for seafloor spreading. The answer key will have detailed analysis of all the questions. Please go through it as well. Fourth question, which of the following is the best suited description of hydrological cycle? Movement of water through various reservoirs of hydrosphere, movement of water through organism in its life cycle, movement of sediments directly precipitated from water, movement of water along the underwater depth of ocean floors or lake floors. Hydrological cycle is a very direct question. It basically mentions the water cycle itself. So you have to just identify which of the following statement best describes the water cycle. Water cycle includes all the corresponding water and the different forms of water like ice, water vapor and water itself. So the answer should be the best suited one. Best suited one is the option A. The movement of water through various reservoirs of hydrosphere. Hydrosphere has several reservoirs. Hydrosphere indicates the areas where water is present, water and its several forms are present. So that is the best suited answer. Option B and option C indicate a very narrow dimension. It does not accurately represent the hydrological cycle. Fourth question, option A. Fifth question, consider the following statements. Even though corals cover less than 1% of the Earth's surface, they are very diverse ecosystems. Southeast Asia, comprising countries like Malaysia, Philippines and Indonesia, is the area of highest coral diversity in the world. Events like El Nino can have severe impact on the existence of coral reefs. We know that coral reef is a very diverse ecosystem. It has even higher biodiversity compared to the tropical rainforests. So first statement should be correct, and the amount of area of where coral reefs are spread is very less. It covers less than 1% of total Earth surface area. So first statement is correct, definitely correct. Third statement will also be correct because El Nino event is a negative impact. It will always cause negative impact to every possible ecosystems. So third statement will also be correct. Second statement, that is quite factual, but you have to know that the highest coral diversity is observed in the coral triangle, which is spread around the Southeast Asian region. So fifth question, all the options are correct. Fifth, 1, 2 and 3. Option D. Sixth question, hydrothermal vents inside the ocean relief features support life through. Hydrothermal vents. The question is about hydrothermal vents. So you have to decode the answer using that word itself. So hydrothermal vents, from that word you can understand that there is a vent which is powered by hydrothermal energy. Okay, so some kind of thermal energy is coming from the inside of Earth's interior. So that should be the best possible way where life is supported in the underwater region. So hydrothermal vent is normally seen in the benthic region. So sunlight will not be there because it is an aphotic zone. So the statement which says photosynthesis is not correct, and also the statement which says presence of cyanobacteria, that is also not correct because cyanobacteria are normally found in the surface of water. Okay, option A and option B can be eliminated. Option D is also not correct because the question itself is asking how the life is supported, and the option is saying there is no life support. So it is quite contradictory. Option D can also be eliminated. So the best possible answer is option C. Seventh question. Thick unconsolidated sediments are observed mostly in continental rise. Pycnocline is the zone which indicates the changes in water density corresponding to depth of ocean floor. Both are actually quite factual statements. You have to know that continental rise is the portion where there is a gradual transition from continental slope to benthic zone. So that area, continental rise, will have lot of sediments that are accumulated from the continental margins. So it will be accumulating there in the continental rise, and it will not move to the other parts of benthic zone because the slope will be near to zero. So first statement is correct. Second statement, pycnocline. Pycnocline is the zone where water density changes abnormally with the depth of ocean floor. Okay. Similarly, there are thermocline, halocline. Thermocline indicates the change in water temperature. Halocline indicates the change in ocean salinity along with the depth of ocean floor. So you have to just remember what is pycnocline. Seventh, option C. Eighth question, consider the following pairs: marginal sea and bordering countries. Beaufort Sea, Canada; Kara Sea, China; Aegean Sea, Greece. Kara Sea is in news. It is actually located in Arctic Ocean. It borders the countries like Russia. When the Arctic Sea ice is melting, Russia is planning to have a navigation through Kara Sea. So it is quite prominent in news. You have to remember that it is in Russia. Beaufort Sea is also located in the northern parts of northern hemisphere. So it borders country like Canada and USA as well. First option, Beaufort Sea, Canada, is correct. Kara Sea is in Russia. And third statement, agency is also correct. It is bordering both Greece and Turkey. So the answer will be 8, option D, 1 and 3 only. 9th question, with reference to PM Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, consider the following statements. The question is about Saubhagya scheme. Under the scheme, free electricity connections to all households in rural areas and urban areas will be provided. Rural Electrification Corporation is the nodal agency for the scheme. The potential beneficiary households under the scheme will be identified using Socio-Economic Caste Census 2011 data. The basic details about Saubhagya scheme is that it is aiming to provide free electricity connections to all the poor and non-poor households in rural areas and to all the poor households in urban areas. So it excludes the non-poor households in urban areas. So the first statement is incorrect. Other two statements are correct. Rural Electrification Corporation is the nodal agency for the scheme and the beneficiaries are identified through Socio-Economic Caste Census data. 2 and 3 is correct. So 9, option C. 10th question, consider the following statements. Mines and Minerals Development and Regulations Act grants mining licenses for a time period of 50 years at a time. 100% foreign direct investment is possible through automatic route for sale of coal in India. There was a petition filed in the court regarding section 8 of MMDR Act. That act actually guarantees rights for companies in such a way that once the auctions are given to the companies, they can hold the lease up to 50 years at a time. So there was a petition to repeal this section, so it was in news. First statement is correct. Second statement, 100% FDI is allowed in coal through automatic route. The changes were recently incorporated through an amendment. So the second statement is also correct. These are both related to current affairs. It was in news, so you have to go through it. 10th question, option C, both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. So today's discussion is over. We will post the day 4 topics in Telegram channel as well. So please subscribe to the Telegram channel so that you will not miss any updates. If you have any doubts or suggestions, please comment in the YouTube channel. Thank you.